Hello everybody, welcome back. Merry Christmas, like 4 days ago, and also happy holidays. I know that I technically missed Christmas, but because this is my baby channel's very first Christmas, I wanted to make sure that I actually did something before the year ended. And you know what? No one knows what to do with those weird days between Christmas and New Year's anyway, so here I am. And also I'm out of frozen taquitos, so I don't have anything else to do. So here at PowerCords, we're a music channel primarily, and what better thing to talk about this holiday season than Christmas music. Now, for any of you guys who don't celebrate Christmas, it really doesn't matter because Christmas music is piped at us constantly in every public place for like 2 months leading up to this one particular day, and then I guess you know this video too, so sorry. So when I was thinking about what PowerCords' first holiday video should actually be, I had a few different ideas. I wasn't quite sure what you guys would want to see, but then I realized that I kept coming back to one singular idea, and that is because this is the one particular Christmas song that stalks my nightmares. And if it doesn't strike fear into your hearts, it's gonna. So Merry Christmas. So when I was trying to think of different ideas, I started organizing all the Christmas songs into categories. I ended up with like 5. So we got songs about being outside, songs about not being outside, songs about a baby, and then songs about breakups or sad things. But then there was one other category that I landed upon, which is songs of the supernatural. Now, you guys are all familiar with the omniscient demigod who uses cheap labor of lesser mythical beings to mass produce PS5s or whatever every year. And he watches you while you're sleeping and when you're awake, as the songs tell us. And then he shoves his body down a chimney in every house in the world to bring people their mass-produced PS5s. Thank you, Santa. So I think it's obligatory of any adult who you go through the process of understanding that Santa isn't real, you then land in the camp of Santa's kind of creepy. And then, once that veil is ripped away from our eyes, the death of innocence in Christmas, we start to see all the other ways that Christmas music hides these rather terrifying stories. I don't even want to talk about Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I mean, it's like in the title for you guys. I'm not gonna spell it out any clearer than that. But despite all of these crazy Santa songs, it's not Santa who scares me the most. It's Frosty the Snowman. So let's just talk about it really quick. If you guys are not familiar, the basic premise of Frosty the Snowman, which I believe is also an animated short, I don't know if it's an entire movie, editing Becca's gonna fact check that. It came out in the 60s, I believe, and it tells the story of a wholesome, coming-to-life snowman running around the village with the children, and then he goes, because he melts, and that's it. That's the story. Now, when we actually break down the text, there are a lot of darker messages that we may not have even considered on first listen or first watch of little animated movie. So let's talk about first the main magical item of this story, which is, of course, the hat. The hat that Frosty wears. Once upon a time, there were these children, and they found a hat, and they put on a snowman, and he came to life. Now, we are just expected to accept that as the audience. There is no explanation where this hat came from. Was it cursed? Was it gifted to the children? Has it been passed down through village tradition for hundreds of years? And further, if you put the hat on like a coat rack or a chair, do those then come alive? Could you find yourself in a situation with like hundreds of inanimate objects springing to life for a seasonal soiree in the town square with the children? That just kind of sounds like Beauty and the Beast. But so regardless of how the magical hat came to be, it is put on Frosty's head because the kids want to dress up the snowman. And they are not at all disturbed when the snowman springs to life and begins to interact with them. Now, I personally, as a small child, was terrified of absolutely everything. And I can say with utmost certainty that if my snowman literally became alive after I decorated him in a wholesome attempt to celebrate the holiday season, I would run into the woods and never return. The kids just accept it. They just say, okay, this is a sentient snow beast now, and we must welcome it into our community. Now, maybe this is just a part of the town. We don't know the history of this town. Maybe this is like the thing that happens every year, so the children are maybe conditioned every Christmas to welcome the snow monster in from the cold, to show him around the town square, and then as he waves goodbye and tells us not to cry because he's gonna melt, okay, next point. It's clear that Frosty knows that his time on Earth is limited. He is an ephemeral snow beast. So he says in the second to last verse that Frosty knew the sun was hot that day, and so let's go have fun before I melt away. So they play with him in the town square, which does kind of have these weird Pied Piper vibes to me. They like follow him around while he's like, I don't know, doing his snowman thing. What does snowman even do? How fun is he? Can he like play catch or does he just walk around and sing? Does he have like ancient wisdom he can share with us of being snow? Was he aware of life before he was a snowman? Is he like an elemental spirit? Can he pass this knowledge on to the generations of this town that give him life once a year? Never addressed. I would love to hear that Christmas song. So the children follow him around the square, presumably having a great time, and none of the parents are concerned because either this is the most negligent city in the world or everyone is just in on it. But then Frosty says, "Oh, I'm starting to melt. It's time for me to go. Don't cry because I'll be back again someday." And that's why this gives me nightmares. When does he come back? Does he know? Maybe in a hypothetical situation where no one knew the magic of the Frosty hat. Now that we know about that, does it get like put in a place of honor? Is it destroyed? Is there like a fellowship that takes it to the place it must be destroyed? Because clearly it has incredible magic power that it can just bring snow to life, and no one's answered my question about if it can bring other stuff to life. I'm just saying. And one last element that reminded me of like scary stories to tell in the dark. Now, once you listen to the song, the story continues through the verses, but depending on the recording you listen to, there are these certain moments that I don't even want to call them choruses because the song doesn't really have a chorus, I guess, but this is as close as it gets. It's reoccurring lyrics in a couple places that don't further the plot, so I guess I'll call it a chorus. He says, thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, over the hills of snow. So we are hearing the heavy steps of an advancing Frosty as he drags his melting body across the hills of snow to play with the children on this day that he knows is limited. And we hear those thumping sounds, and maybe if you listen closely on a cold winter night, you can hear the thumping again, and you know that he's returned, just as he promised. Ah! I'm filming this alone, so I have no one to do this bit with. Well, guys, I hope you liked that. I had a great time shooting that. I have a ton of hot takes on a lot of Christmas songs, so we can make this a yearly tradition. Starting this channel in the weirdest year of anyone's memory has been both really exciting and really hard and kind of scary, but way more than that, it's been so much fun. Every person who watches this video, you guys are a part of that, and I truly, from the bottom of my heart, cannot thank you enough for supporting me, for subscribing, for liking, for leaving a comment. For anyone who has interacted with this video, you guys are the greatest gift that any person paralyzed by Frosty fear could ever hope for at the end of this year. Oh, that rhymed! Ah, that's nice. Frosty would love a rhyme. So from the very bottom of my heart, have the safest and healthiest of New Year's, and I look forward to creating more weird content for you guys in 2021. Okay, bye. The year's over, so you can go. That's all I got.